Welcome to another video on strategy. And now I'm going to tell you the ninja skill right off the bat. And before I do that, I just want you to know that you may want to watch my videos multiple times because I've been giving lots of good advice on those and something that would help you a lot. So I would highly recommend that you watch this and all my videos multiple times. And as I've been going through your professional plan, I see the same thing coming over and over. And most of the answers that you're seeking for, as I mentioned, they are in the videos. And one of the students actually, his professional plan was really, really good. And he mentioned that how much watching those videos have helped him because I'm giving tips on how to, talk in interviews and how to reframe certain things, meaning how if somebody says something, how you can change the meaning, which favors your objective. And again, you want it to be a win-win-win situation. So I've been giving lots of good ninja skills to help you with that. So I would highly recommend that you watch all those videos multiple times. Actually, that's exactly what he was also saying, that he has watched those videos multiple times. Anyway, and today is the ninja skill that I'm going to be giving you is called format system. It's actually 4 ways you can be, how you explain things. Now, the way this works is if you explain it in this fashion, people understand it a lot better and they retain it a lot better also. And actually, I've been doing that throughout my videos, but I never told you that. And now, as I had said in my first video as well, that I'm going to break down everything that I'm going to be doing. So here it is. Now, today's chapter that we're going to be doing is on strategy, corporate strategy, diversification, and the multi-business company. Okay, so this chapter I'm going to teach you using the format system, although I've taught all the chapters using this, but I'm specifically explaining you how to do it. So the format system is, and some of you who probably have taken some, education, if you have taken some teacher certification courses, some of them, not all of them, would have had included this. Actually, when I did my PhD, it was not included. Nobody tells you how to be a teacher. You just have to figure it out. But anyway, so the format system is, so it starts off with what, why, how, what, here. Now you might be wondering, I asked you to watch the Simon Sinek video where you start with why, that's what it is. And here I'm saying start with what. Now this is when you are explaining things to people. Because unless they understand what it is, they don't really care about why they should care about it, okay? Although you could use this interchangeably. So let's say there is something that everybody knows about, then you could go directly to why they should learn about it. Versus if it's a new concept, you may start with what. Now, studies have shown that there are 4 types of people. What people are like, roughly, I think 35% of the population they want to know what it is before they agree to do it. And about 30% of the people are why people. So that is 65, and roughly like 25% of the population is how people, that they want to know how to do certain things. And only 10% of the population is what if people. So what do we mean by these type of people? So this is how people learn. They want to know what it is, okay, before they are going to invest their time and energy into it. And this is how they learn also. And also the other thing is these 2 types of people are most impatient. Now, these type of people are extremely patient. This is, if you're a what if type of person, you would send send me an email after few months and saying, oh, I was curious about the question number, concept number 3 in chapter number 2. Okay? So these people are very patient versus what and why people are not that patient. They tune off fairly easily. So you have to tell them what it is and why they should care about it. So without further ado, let's get into the diversification. So the chapter is about diversification. And let me divide this into 2 parts, related, unrelated. So diversification basically is a company buying or going into different fields. So let's say, let me give you an example. A shoe company, shoes, you wear shoes. A shoe company buying or getting into the business of shoelaces, okay, or shoe polish, or any other shoe products, shoe wax, insoles, things like that. So those are all related. So that would be a related diversification. Shoe, laces, insoles, polish, all that. Unrelated diversification would be a diamond company buying a railroad company, railroad buying company buying a furniture company, furniture company buying a car insurance company. All these actually sound like I'm making stuff up, but that there is a company that does that. And think about it, and in a few minutes I will give you an answer. So diversification is the company is going into different types of businesses. Those businesses could be related, like what I mentioned over here, or could be totally unrelated, as I gave you examples earlier. Now, that is what diversification is. Now, why do you want to diversify? Okay. The reason you want to diversify is maybe make more money. And the other thing also could be your company, existing businesses are, not making as much money. So you want to venture or go into different areas. Or it could also to reduce risk. Like companies, you are in a business and you're worried about what the future of that, so you go into different businesses. Okay, so that would be the reason: make more money or reduce risk. Okay. Now, how would you do that? The way you would do it is either you buy another company that already does that, or you start making the products yourself, or something in between, which is partnership or joint ventures, something like that. Okay. And then the last question is, what if? What if your whatever you're doing doesn't work out? Then that's when something called restructuring comes into the picture. Meaning now you diversified and it did not work out. So guess what? You have to sell the underperforming assets, or you have to sell the business that is not doing well. So as you can see, I explained this to you using the format system. That is, what is it, why you should care about it, how would you do it, and what if. Okay, so the concept that you're going to be explaining in the discussion too, you may want to use the format system to explain it, and this way people will understand a lot better. And so this is the ninja skill that I want to give you. This will also help you explain your concept a lot better. Let me tell you a little more about this chapter. Now, this chapter, as I mentioned, it's about diversification. Now, there are some more reasons why a company would want to diversify. And actually, if you were to go back here, these related diversification, some of the reasons are for economies of scale and economies of scope. Let me explain you what these mean. Economies of scale is if you do the same thing more times. Let's say if you are producing 1,000, let's say these pens, okay? Now, if you start producing 2,000, guess what? Your fixed cost goes down. You have your factories, you have your utility bills and all of that. That cost is fixed, okay? Whether you produce 1,000 pens or 0 pens or 2,000 pens, okay? Not the Mike Pence, not the VP, I'm talking about this pen, okay? So economies of scale is if you produce more of the same item, the cost per item goes down. That is economies of scale. So that you can achieve using related diversification. Actually, let me just, the economies of scale, the scale is when you increase the factory. So if you're producing the same thing, but with related diversification, you actually get more of this economies of scope. What is economies of scope? Economies of scope is you're doing activities that are related. So let me give you an example, and that is Yum Brands. Let's go to the next page. Okay. So Yum Brands, what is Yum Brands? Taco Bell. Okay. What else? What else is Yum Brands? Think about it. Actually, you'll be surprised as to what brands does. Long John Silver. Okay, so on and so forth. But anyway, now what is common in these companies? These are all fast food companies. Okay, so what are the activities that are common to these companies? Guess what? Shipping is there, transportation, shipping and handling, transportation, warehousing, delivering the food to the franchises. So all these activities, they could be combined. So that is what is called economies of scope. So there could be the same truck that has Taco Bell products, that has KFC products, that has Pizza Hut and Long John Silver, and all that truck does is goes around town and delivers the product. So the same delivery truck could deliver to all of these. So that is what is economies of scope. Now, for this type of diversification, unrelated, what you have is economies of capital. What do I mean by economies of capital? Economies of capital is you have money coming in from, and typically that business is called cash cow. So the money is coming in through a cash cow, and that is typically a utility company or a car insurance company. Now, some of you may have started guessing which one would be an unrelated diversification. Let me give you an example of that, and that is Berkshire Hathaway. Classic example, Berkshire Hathaway. And you may see me, like misspelling certain things. I just make up words. That's one way you can make fun of yourself if if you don't spell something right. Anyway, Berkshire Hathaway, guess what? It is in furniture business, Nebraska Furniture Mart, diamonds, then transportation, which is Burlington Northern Santa Fe, which is a railroad company, BYD, which is in car batteries, Chinese company. Then it has substantial shares of lots of different companies. So Berkshire Hathaway is an unrelated diversification. And typically what Berkshire Hathaway does is they buy mature companies. Okay, so they're cash cow companies. They typically don't make any changes to it. They just use that money to buy other businesses and another business like that. Okay, so that's what Berkshire Hathaway's business model is. And this is called economies of capital, meaning you're using money from one business to buy other businesses, so on and so forth. Now, Berkshire Hathaway, which is Warren Buffett's company, his acquisitions have been fairly successful because he always goes for the good ones, the ones that are properly managed and the ones that have good potential. But for the most part, many of the acquisitions don't work out, as we saw in other chapters. And that is because of managerial motives. Sometimes managers may want to buy other companies. That's what? To either hide their bad performance, or if the company gets larger, guess what? Managers make more money. If the diversification is for the right reason, then the diversification will succeed. What are the right reasons then? And your book, and I'm not going to go through the chapter, as I always say, we are going to uncover a few key concepts, and you guys are smart enough to read the others. So when is the diversification successful? The diversification is successful if the industry is good. Okay? there is something called attractiveness. I mean, if you go through the slides, you will see that. And Berkshire Hathaway, Warren Buffett joked about this, is if you want to be a millionaire, and he was giving advice on that, the best way to become a millionaire is to put $1 billion in an airline. So $1 billion, billion with a B, if you put it in an airline, you lose a lot of money and you become a millionaire. So that's what he meant. Airline industry is bad. It's a money losing proposition. The growth isn't there. And again, of course, he was speaking in a different time frame. Now, airline industry is not really that bad. This is something about 10, 15 years ago. Anyway, so the industry has to be good. If you, whichever industry you want to be in, and you don't want to overpay for the company. You want a good performing company, and make sure that there is good synergy between the two companies. Okay, so that's basically the attractiveness for that. And if you look into the slides, you will see the attractiveness of the industry and attractiveness of the company matrix. So you can go through that. But anyway, let me quickly recap what you learned from this chapter, and also let me tell you about this format system. So the best way to explain things to people is in this format right here: what, why, how, what if. And the reason for that is this is the majority of the population, and these people are restless. These people are not that patient, versus these are the most patient. Okay, and how people do not care about these others. They typically want directions. So again, not to put anybody down, but there are some people that typically don't care what they're doing, why they're doing. They just want steps, 1, 2, 3. Just tell me what to do, I'll do it. Okay. But there are some people that want to know the big picture. They want to know why they're doing it, what it is, and this type of people. And if you were to explain concepts in this format, anybody and everybody will understand. So that's the format system. That's the ninja skill. And this chapter was about diversification. There are 2 types of diversification: as the company buys other companies or goes into different lines of business. 2 types of diversification: related and unrelated. If it is the same type of business or similar type of business, like shoelaces, insoles, polish. Let me just give you an example. Basically, Apple doesn't sell shoes, but I'm just saying Apple, Microsoft, most of the companies in the US are actually related, diversified. There was a time most of the companies in the US were unrelated, diversified, meaning they were into all kinds of businesses. But after Reagan slashed the taxes, corporate taxes, they were like as high as I think 60% or something. So people didn't want dividends or bonuses to be handed to them. They wanted the companies to reinvest those profits. But once the corporate tax cuts were in, also the tax rates on investments were brought down. People didn't like companies wasting their money. So most of the companies became related diversified. And unrelated diversification is actually still popular in other parts of the world: Japan, India, South Korea. If you see a company like Hyundai, guess what? They're into banking, they're into cars, they're into shipping, and they're into lots of different industries there. Okay. So going back, Microsoft, Apple, these are related diversified. Unrelated would be a company like Berkshire Hathaway. So this is like, so one extreme, let's just say Coke like this, I'm drinking Coke. So this is not that diversified because it's mostly beverages. Then the other extreme, so let me just go from here. So over here, Coke. Pepsi is into snacks. They have beverages plus snacks. The other extreme is Berkshire Hathaway, which is into anything and everything. Then you have along the spectrum, you have GE, and you could even put Amazon over here. So there are lots of companies that are along the spectrum. Okay, so this chapter was about corporate, about diversification, and we got related, unrelated, and how do you do it? Either you could, buy a company, start making your partnerships or joint ventures. What if the diversification doesn't work? Guess what? Restructuring, meaning you're selling the businesses that do not work. Anyway, so thank you for watching this. And again, I've said this to some people, but again, I'll say this over here. Send me your message me, and what do you want to. I plan on creating a special topics video which would help you in whatever it is that you want in your life, like business, professional, career wise, business, or starting your own business, or how to deal with groups, how to negotiate, things like that. So I'm planning on creating a special topics video, but send me your input on that. What would you like to see in that? And I will create one. So thank you for watching this, and watch this and other videos, because some of your peers and colleagues are saying that it's been really, really helpful. All right. So see you in the next video, and enjoy the rest of the semester. All right. Bye.